Sure, here's a compelling and natural-sounding introduction for your YouTube video. Imagine walking into a room full of people. The air is buzzing with conversation, but as soon as one person speaks, the whole room turns silent. Everyone leans in, hanging on to their every word. Have you ever wondered what makes certain people so captivating when they talk? Why do some leaders command attention effortlessly while others struggle to be heard? The secret isn't just in what they say, it's in how they say it. Successful leaders, from world-class CEOs to powerful speakers, all have something in common. They know how to communicate with confidence, clarity, and impact. But here's the good news: you don't have to be born with this skill. Anyone can learn it. And today, we're going to break it down. Think about the most influential people in history. Martin Luther King Jr., Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey. What made their words unforgettable? It wasn't complex vocabulary or flashy presentations. It was their ability to connect, to inspire, and to make people feel something. They understood the power of pauses, the importance of body language, and the magic of storytelling. They didn't just speak, they made people believe. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but I'm not a public speaker or a CEO. Here's the thing: leadership isn't about titles. Whether you're in a meeting, giving a presentation, or even just having a conversation with a friend, the way you communicate shapes how people see you. And in today's world, where attention spans are shrinking, knowing how to speak like a leader isn't just a bonus, it's a necessity. So, how do you do it? How do you develop a voice that makes people listen? How do you speak with a kind of presence that makes others trust and follow you? In this video, we're going to uncover the exact techniques that the most successful people use, simple yet powerful strategies that you can start using right now. But before we dive in, let me ask you this: what's the one thing that stops most people from speaking with confidence? It's not what you think. And once you understand it, everything changes. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have the tools to speak like a true leader. Let's get started. Think about the last time you had an important idea to share, but the moment you opened your mouth, you hesitated. Maybe your voice wavered. Maybe the words didn't come out the way you wanted. Or worse, maybe people didn't seem to care. It's frustrating, isn't it? That moment of doubt, of feeling unheard, can shake anyone's confidence. But what if I told you that even the greatest speakers in history once struggled with the same fear? Take Steve Jobs, for example. Today, we remember him as one of the most compelling speakers in the business world. But in his early years, he wasn't always the confident presenter we saw on stage. He had to learn how to craft his message, how to use silence to build anticipation, how to make people feel something. He practiced, he studied, and most importantly, he understood that communication isn't about impressing people, it's about connecting with them. But connection doesn't come from words alone. It comes from presence, from body language, from the way you carry yourself before you even speak. Studies show that people form an opinion about you within seconds of meeting you. Before you say a single word, your posture, your eye contact, and even your energy set the tone for how people will receive your message. And here's the secret: great communicators use this to their advantage. Think about someone like Oprah Winfrey. She has this incredible ability to make every person she speaks to feel like they're the most important person in the room. It's not just what she says, it's the way she listens, the way she reacts, the way she makes people feel understood. That's the difference between simply talking and truly leading. But here's where most people go wrong. They think leadership is about always having the right answer, about speaking louder or using bigger words. In reality, the most powerful speakers know that less is more. They know when to pause. They know how to let their words sink in. They know how to tell a story that draws people in instead of pushing them away with facts and figures alone. So, if you've ever felt like your words don't, think about someone you know who has a strong presence. Maybe it's a boss, a teacher, or a friend. Now ask yourself, what makes them so compelling? Chances are it's not just what they say, but how they make you feel. The best communicators don't just project confidence, they create an environment where others feel safe, where people, and this is where the real struggle begins. Even when people understand what makes a great communicator, something keeps them from stepping fully into that role. It's not just fear anymore, it's doubt. The kind that sneaks in quietly, making them question every word before they say it. Asterisk: what if I? But then something unexpected happens. Just when they start to push past their doubts, when they begin to find their voice, they face resistance, not just from themselves, but from the world around them. Maybe it's a dismissive glance in a meeting, a conversation where someone talks over them, or a moment where they speak up, only to be met with silence. The sting of being ignored or undervalued can be just as powerful as the fear of speaking in the first place. And this is where most people retreat. They take it as proof that they were right to be afraid, that maybe they're not meant to be leaders after all. They start to believe that confident speakers must have something they don't, natural charisma, an extroverted personality, or some secret skill that they'll never master. The doubt grows stronger. The voice in their head gets louder, and they convince themselves that it's safer to stay quiet, to blend in, to avoid the risk of failure. But here's the twist. What if the very thing that feels like failure is actually part of the process? What if the greatest speakers didn't start out being heard? What if they were ignored, interrupted, overlooked, just like everyone else? The difference isn't that they were always listened to. The difference is that they didn't stop speaking. They didn't wait for permission. It's about something deeper, something that goes beyond words. It's about choice. The choice to keep speaking even when no one seems to be listening. The choice to stand tall even when doubt creeps in. The choice to believe that your voice matters even before the world confirms it. And that's when everything shifts. One moment changes everything. Maybe it's a meeting where they finally speak with conviction, and for the first time, people pause to listen. Maybe it's a conversation where they hold their ground instead of shrinking back. Or maybe it's simply the realization that their words don't have to be perfect to have impact. Confidence isn't about knowing you'll always say the right thing. It's about trusting that what you say has value. And then, just when they think they figured it out, the final twist arrives. They realize that leadership, real leadership, isn't about getting people to listen to you. It's about making others feel heard. The greatest communicators don't just speak well, they listen deeply. They don't just project authority, they create connection. And the moment they stop trying to prove themselves and start focusing on others, everything clicks into place. Because in the end, talking like a leader isn't about having the loudest voice or the most polished speech. It's about speaking in a way that makes people feel something, that inspires action, that leaves a mark long after the words have been spoken. And once they understand that, they don't just communicate differently, they lead differently. And just like that, everything comes full circle. They no longer chase the idea of sounding impressive or forcing authority. Instead, they embrace the power of authenticity, of speaking with purpose, of making every conversation meaningful. They start to notice the shift, not just in how others respond to them, but in how they see themselves. The hesitation fades. The fear quiets. Because true leadership isn't about perfect words or commanding attention, it's about connection, trust, and impact. And the moment they realize this, they're no longer just someone trying to be heard. They've become the kind of person people want to listen to.